It happened 2 summers ago, when me and my older brother were driving back from a fishing trip in northern Arizona. It was late, maybe close to midnight, and we were crawling down this long, empty dirt road that cuts through the woods back toward town. There were no lights out there, just the truck's headlights and a sky full of stars. We were maybe 20 minutes from the main road when we saw her. A girl, standing alone on the shoulder, facing away from us. She looked young, maybe 14, 15 years old, with long, messy black hair, and this oversized hoodie that hung down past her shorts. She was crying, not screaming, not sobbing loud, just this quiet, pitiful weeping sound that drifted over the engine noise as we got closer. I remember feeling this sudden urge to stop, like something about it just felt wrong, like she shouldn't have been out there by herself. My brother slowed down without me even saying anything and pulled the truck onto the shoulder about 10 feet ahead of her. The second we stopped, she went dead silent. No more crying, no movement, just standing there, facing away. I rolled down my window halfway and called out, "Hey, you okay? Do you need help?" No response. She didn't move, didn't even twitch. It was like she hadn't heard me at all. I looked at my brother, and he just gave me this weird glance, like he wasn't sure anymore if we should even be stopping. I leaned out a little further and said louder, "Are you hurt? We can take you to town if you want." That's when she started moving, but not like turning to face us or coming closer. She shuffled, like her feet weren't lifting properly, almost dragging across the dirt. Slowly, jerkily, she began to turn around, and that's when we saw it. She didn't have a face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just smooth, pale skin stretched tight where her features should have been. Almost like a doll, but worse. Way worse. The second I saw it, this cold wave went through my whole body. My brother cursed under his breath and slammed the truck into gear. The girl, or whatever it was, started walking toward us. Faster now, feet scuffing in the dust, arms hanging limp at her sides. The headlights hit her full on, and I swear to God, for a second, the skin where her face should have been looked like it rippled, like something was moving underneath it. We peeled out so fast the back tires kicked up a cloud of dirt behind us. I twisted around in my seat to look back. She was still standing in the dust cloud, just standing there, watching. We didn't stop driving until we hit the main road. Even then, we didn't talk about it, not for a long time. It wasn't until a few weeks later that I looked it up online and found out that Skinwalkers, or whatever she was, sometimes they don't just copy voices or faces. They hide behind a face that isn't finished yet, and once you stop for them, once you notice them, they remember you. It was the first cold night of October when we found it. Or maybe it found us. Me, my brother Aaron, and our friend Caleb were camping near the foothills outside town. We'd gone out past the logging roads where the ground turns dry and the trees thin out. Our usual spot. We built a fire, cooked some hot dogs, and just hung out, laughing about stupid inside jokes. There was something about that night. The silence, the way the clouds hung low over the hills, that made everything feel wrong. Around 1 a.m., we heard the howling. Far off at first, high-pitched and broken like an injured animal. Aaron joked that it was probably a coyote, but Caleb looked uneasy. He grew up around here. Said the coyotes don't usually come this close to human scent, especially not when there's a big fire burning. The howling kept getting closer. We sat there, frozen, listening to it move through the trees, circling us. Then it stepped into the firelight. At first, I thought it was a coyote. Same skinny shape, same patchy fur. But something was off. It was bigger than any coyote I'd ever seen. Its ribs stuck out sharply against its skin. Tufts of matted fur clung to its back and sides, and one of its front legs hung at a strange angle, like it had been broken and never healed right. It staggered closer, almost collapsing into the dirt just outside the ring of firelight. Aaron stood up, hands half raised like he was about to shoo it away. "You good, buddy?" he said, half laughing. "You look rough." That's when it lifted its head and spoke. "Help me," it said, clear as day. A perfect human voice, soft, pleading, almost familiar somehow. All three of us froze. Its mouth didn't move right. The words came from deep inside its chest, like it was forcing them through a throat not built for speech. It staggered forward again, dragging that twisted leg. "Please, help me." Caleb cursed under his breath and stumbled back toward the truck. Aaron didn't move. Neither did I. Something about the way it said, "Help me," the wrongness of it, pinned us to the ground. The thing's head lolled sideways, and for the first time, I saw its eyes. They weren't animal eyes. They were human. Bloodshot, glassy, and brimming with something like pain or hunger. It tried to step into the firelight, but the moment it got close, it recoiled with a guttural, gurgling sound, almost like a sob. It circled us again, pacing just outside the reach of the flames. "Please, I'm hurt. Help me," it whispered. Aaron finally found his voice. "What the hell are you?" The thing shuddered as if the question physically hurt it. Its mouth stretched open, too wide, tearing the skin at the corners. Blood, dark and thick, spilled down its chin. Something inside me, something primal, started screaming to run. Caleb had already made it to the truck and was fumbling with the keys. I heard the locks pop. Aaron didn't move. He took a slow step toward it. "Maybe it's sick," he muttered. "Maybe it's..." The thing straightened. Its body cracked and popped as it stood upright, taller than any man I've ever seen. Its spine bent wrong, like it had too many joints. Its broken front leg, now an arm, dangled uselessly at its side. It smiled, or tried to. "Don't leave me alone," it said, in my mother's voice this time. Aaron stumbled back, tripping over the firewood pile. I grabbed his jacket, yanking him toward the truck. The creature didn't follow. It just stood there, watching, its human eyes glinting in the firelight. We piled into the truck and tore out of there, tires spinning in the dirt. I looked back once. Just once. It was standing in the middle of the road, getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror. Still upright, still watching, and still smiling that torn, broken smile. We didn't talk much on the way back. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those human eyes staring into me. Heard that voice, my mother's voice, begging me not to leave it. When we finally made it back to town, we crashed at Caleb's place, locked every door and window. I didn't sleep at all. In the morning, Aaron said maybe it had been some kind of sick coyote, messed up on rabies or poison. Something that just sounded wrong in the dark. Caleb didn't say anything, just packed up his stuff and moved to the city a week later. A few nights ago, months after it all happened, I was walking home from work. Late shift, moonless night. I cut across the empty lot behind the old gas station, and I heard it. Soft footsteps behind me, a dragging limp. I didn't look back, I just walked faster. Then came the voice, low, broken, seeping out of the darkness. "Please, don't leave me alone." When I was 16, a group of us decided to go camping near some foothills about an hour outside town. It wasn't an official campground, more like a clearing some kids at school talked about. A big open stretch of dirt surrounded by low pine trees, with a rocky ridge towering over it on one side. I'll be honest, none of us were exactly seasoned campers. We brought cheap tents, folding chairs, a cooler full of gas station snacks, and someone's dad's old propane lantern. We just wanted a place to drink, tell ghost stories, and stay out all night without adults around. By the time we set everything up, it was already dark. The night was colder than we expected, the dry, sharp cold that sneaks up on you in late October. The woods around us felt different once the sun went down. We got the fire going, joking around, telling dumb stories, passing around bags of chips and lukewarm beers. For a while it worked. Then James, the oldest in the group, decided we should tell real scary stories, stuff that happened to someone you know. He started talking about skinwalkers. I'd heard the word before, but I didn't know the details. James claimed his cousin, who lived out near Navajo land, had seen one once. A man-shaped thing that could steal your face if you looked too long. We laughed it off, but the vibe around the fire shifted after that. People started glancing at the trees a little more, listening harder to the spaces between our voices. It was around midnight when we saw it. At first, it looked like a deer standing up on the ridge above our camp. Its silhouette was small, delicate, just a thin neck and spindly legs outlined against the stars. James pointed it out. "Look," he said, "deer." We all turned to look. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal, but something about it was off. It was standing too still, not shifting its weight, not twitching its ears, not moving at all, just frozen, like a statue. The fire crackled loudly in the silence. Someone tossed another log on, and sparks flew up into the air. And that's when the deer moved. Not away, not like a normal animal would. It stood up, on two legs. Nobody said anything for a second. We just sat there, staring up at it. It didn't run. It didn't look scared. It just watched us from the ridge. Someone, I think it was Carly, laughed nervously. "Maybe it's a person," she said, "messing with us." We wanted to believe that. But even from that distance, we could tell that wasn't a costume. Its limbs were wrong, too long, too thin. Its head was tilted at an odd angle, like its neck couldn't quite support the weight of it. And then it smiled, or at least it did something that looked like smiling. The mouth stretched wide, way too wide for the size of the face. No teeth, just a gaping blackness where the mouth should have been. James stood up like he was trying to puff himself up, be the tough guy. "Hey," he shouted. "Get lost, freak." The thing didn't even flinch. It just kept staring. I don't know how long we sat there like that. 5 minutes? 10? It felt like hours. At some point, James decided to throw a rock. I wish he hadn't. The rock didn't even get close. But the second it sailed through the air, the thing moved. Not like an animal, not even like a human. It crawled down the side of the ridge, impossibly fast, all 4 limbs moving out of sync, its back bending the wrong way. We screamed. Chairs flew backwards. Someone knocked over the cooler. But the thing didn't charge into camp. It stopped at the edge of the trees, maybe 30, 40 feet from us, and just stood there, watching. James grabbed the hatchet we'd brought for chopping firewood. "Into the trucks," he yelled. We bolted. The 2 trucks were parked just a few yards from camp. We scrambled into them, locking the doors, panting like we'd run a marathon. From the cab of James's pickup, I could see it, still standing at the tree line, still smiling, still waiting. Someone turned on the headlights. In the harsh beams, it looked even worse. Its skin was grayish, stretched tight over its frame. Its eyes were 2 bottomless pits. No reflection, no shine. And its legs bent backwards, like a deer's. But wrong. We should have left right then. We should have peeled out and never looked back. But James didn't want to leave the tents and gear. Said it was probably just some meth head in a costume. Didn't want to lose hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. So we sat there and watched it watch us. Minutes dragged into hours. Every so often it would move, shifting from one spot to another without making a sound. Once it dropped down on all fours and loped around the camp in a wide, lazy circle, like it was stalking us, testing us. Around 3 a.m. it disappeared. 1 second it was there, crouched by a dead tree, and the next, gone. We argued. Should we stay? Should we run for it? James insisted it was gone. I don't hear anything, he said. Probably wandered off. Against my better judgment, I cracked the passenger window just an inch, just to listen. That's when I heard it. Breathing, right outside my door. I froze, my hand still on the window crank. Slow, heavy breathing, like something big was crouched right next to the truck. I didn't dare look, didn't dare move. I whispered to James, "Turn on the lights." He fumbled for the switch. The headlights flared on. Nothing there. But just beyond the reach of the beams, under the shadows of the trees, I saw it again. Closer this time. Smiling wider, as if it knew we were trapped. We stayed in the trucks until sunrise. Didn't sleep. When the first pale light of morning crept over the hills, it was gone. We packed up fast. Didn't even fold the tents, just ripped the stakes out and threw everything into the beds of the pickups. Driving away, I glanced back one last time. Up on the ridge, I saw it, standing tall, watching us leave.